At 16, Winnipeg-born Jen Watkins has become a garbage gourmet. When she lived on the street in Philadelphia, she and her friends would swarm the trash bins of a park where businessmen ate their lunches. They would take one bite of a hot dog and throw it out. Once, they put down a red and white checkered flag and had a picnic. Now, the pickings are slimmer.
I never found good garbage in Toronto.
Trolling through refuse is an important skill for a homeless miner.
So is finding a squat.
A safe, abandoned building or a hidden alcove to sleep in.
And so is developing a friendly technique for squeegeeing.
Cleaning car windows at an intersection.
That beats panhandling as a way to make enough money for one decent meal a day.
That usually is an egg and potato breakfast in mid-afternoon for $3.95. Vegetarian.
A few years ago, I would never have imagined living this way. But on the surface, my life in Winnipeg had been stable.
Her parents were teachers. Jen was in a high school gifted class, singing in both youth choir and musical theater group.
But behind the facade was a father with a temper who hit his wife and 2 daughters.
I was told she doesn't mean that. It happens in every family.
We girls began to stay out all night.
Or stay at an aunt's place to escape the increased tension between our parents.
Jen was a very bright, capable young lady. Nobody doubts that her parents loved her very deeply. But, overwhelmed by their problems, the family broke down. Finally,
My mother and I moved out.
And the adolescent entered a new school.
I found new, tougher friends and went from a preppy girl next door
To rubber with hotly colored spiked hair.
nobody recognized her, although she was the same girl inside.
At first, I was headed for university.
After that, if you saw her, you might be even afraid of her.
Jen felt further displaced when her mother met a new boyfriend and moved in with him. And so, at 14, Jen began to hitchhike her way across the country. In the 2 years since,
She has lived by her wells in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, Ottawa, Halifax, Montreal, New York City, Philadelphia, and Toronto.
I feel confused and give way to despondency.
Sometimes we homeless teenagers scrap enough money together to share hotel rooms. Mostly though, we resort to abandoned buildings and living off a patchwork of street services.
A downtown drop-in center for a shower or laundry.
A clinic does not require a health card for medical treatment.
someone stole Jen's backpack with all of her IDs, journals, and poems she furiously scribbled
To stay sane.
while on the road.
That's when I learned not to base my life on material possessions. Now, I keep it in my head.
When things get too tough,
We start to the road again.
My next planned stop is the West Coast. We are afraid.
We are afraid to
Let
let
people get to
to
know
know
us. We are afraid to get hurt.
Jen is back in contact with her estranged parents and sister, all of whom are trying to build up their lives again.
I feel destined to live the squat life until I'm a little older. I'm still young. I can turn my life around.
But statistics show that the longer a youth is homeless, the harder it is to make it back into the mainstream.
You see a flower growing, and then there's a blight.
And you wonder if the damage is too great for the flower to continue.